Welcome back to CabMaster Software and welcome to lesson 2. We're going to go a little bit more advanced today. So first I'm just going to start by quickly throwing a wall into place. I'm just going to do about 3 by 3. That'll work. We're going to add some cabinets very quickly. So when we add in cabinets, we know we can push against the wall, slide them into place. Now, a few things to show here. I'm going to put a cabinet to there. If I want to fit another cabinet in there, it clearly won't fit. Now, if you hold down Control on your keyboard, it will let it slide into there. I'm holding down the left mouse button as well as Control, slide it into place, and I line up one side. So I line up, you can see the left-hand side is lined up to there. You can see the markers are snapping, or I can line up the other side and you see the other side snapping. So if I let go of the mouse while I'm holding Control, that cabinet will automatically, what's called auto cutback. So it'll automatically shrink to fit. So if I open this cupboard now, you can see it's now 725. That makes it nice and easy. The next thing you can do, I can highlight these two cabinets and go make even, and it'll make the doors even. One thing which is actually quite exciting with this one here, if I was to grab a single door cabinet, put in here as well. Now, just to make example, you can stretch cupboards to fit, you can stretch and shrink, so I can move this cabinet around anywhere I like. So you can, again, watching the mouse cursor, see it changes, something has happened. This one here, the white cross, means you can move it around. When I click on the marker, it changes again. It's now just got the single line, so it means I'm going to stretch it. So again, that go to there. I put that to there, the cabinet next to it. If I highlight these three cabinets and go make even, it will actually make the doors even. I've now got 5 doors the same size. It doesn't care the size of the cabinet, it cares the size of the door, which is exactly what you want for production. So make even is a really good feature. The other option you can do, you can actually right click on a single cupboard and go split, and it will split the cupboard in half. Again, if I did that and go make even, I'm now going to have 7 doors of the same size. So example, I can grab this one here, stretch it to there and go okay, make even, and now they're all the same size again. So split, make even, auto cut back, drag to size, very quick and easy to put cabinets into place. I'm just going to throw some other cabinets in here just for the sake of it for today. From here, we're going to go to Insert. I'm going to choose a floor. Now, I can drag a floor. So I'm holding down the left mouse button. I've clicked on the first pointer in the corner there. You can see where it's coming from. Click to there. I click to the edge of the wall, and you can see where it's going to come out here. And I can, again, freehand, just by dragging to this point, it knows that I want it to be straight. So I'm not pressing any other buttons other than holding the left mouse button, and it goes to there. I can drag it anywhere I like, but it will snap to those points to make it nice and even. I can then double click on the floor, and it shows you what it's going to look like. It's going to have some gold tiles. I'm going to go to Seamless Timber, and in this case, this is the size of the tile it's going to show me, but if I make it the size that's written on there, so if I go 2048 by 1071, then that will actually has a seamless joint, so it actually looks like a full floor, which looks really nice. So that's how you add a floor. Now, when you put something down, I'm going to go to go back home. I'm going to choose a wall cabinet, wall standard, and I'm going to put down a wall. Actually, let's do a range hood, because a range hood sticks out further. Grab one of those. I'm going to put it to here. Now, this is not a good example, but it's what we need to see. If this range hood was here, for example, I can't click the cabinet below it, which makes it very difficult. So if you go to the Insert button, I can click on this cabinet and go center back, and it's now pushed it. Physically it's still in the same spot, but visually looking on the plan view, it's now pushed it behind that cabinet. So I can now click on this cabinet, I can edit the cabinet behind it. I can then do the same thing again and go send that one to back, and it'll bring the other one forward. So this one here is almost there. Send to back. Now I can do that one. So the floor is sitting in front of it as well, and I can actually go bring to front, and it brings it in front of everything around it. So this arrange, what we call the arrange options here, send to back, bring to front, it doesn't physically change it. So another thing we can actually do, I can right click here and go auto elevation. We're going to get into elevations a bit later on. But if I go send to back of this cabinet, it's not physically changing its position, only on the plan view it just pushes it behind what you currently see. So it's still physically where it needs to be, but just pushing it behind. And then send to back, It just cycles between what's actually there and then bring to front. So that's how we can move things backwards and forwards. So I'm going to delete this elevation for now. So that's now there. From here, we've got some buttons down the bottom here. So plan view is where we are. This is currently in plan view. Elevation will show us the elevations of the walls, and you can go between the different walls that are automatically generated. List view, I'm going to come to 3D in a minute. List view is literally a list of all the parts you've got in your drawing, and you can add in anything you like from here, which won't put it on the plan. It'll only put it on for here. So you can put in things like, you can add in labor, you can add in more cabinetry if you like. So I go to here, I can actually click on this and go add from library, and it'll add that cabinet in here, but it won't be on the plan, it's just in here. So if you want to add something in that you don't want to see on the plan, you can add it into this list view. So it just adds it to the drawing. Be aware that if you add cabinets in here and then go back to plan, you may forget about them and go, how come I've got an extra cabinet? Don't forget about it. Always come to, this is the best way to see everything on your drawing. So that's the list view. Machining we'll talk about in another video, but the one we want to talk about today is 3D. So the 3D view is literally a full 3D view. Now, things we need to talk about in here is how to move around in here. The mouse, left click, hold down the left mouse button, and I go left and right, up and down, and you can see how it rotates. The right mouse button, again, the mouse has changed. The cursor's changed. If I now go up and down, it zooms in and out. Left and right actually does nothing, but up and down zooms straight in and out where we are. The wheel, again, zoom in and out. It just does a little bit slower, so I can zoom a lot in and out. It's quicker to do it with the right in and out. But the wheel is also, as we've spoken about before, it's a button. It brings it back to the start position. So if I did something really silly and zoomed out a long way, press the wheel button, does that. Same as if I zoom in, I want to look at this. Oh, I've gone too far. Where am I? Press the wheel button, brings it back to here. You can never get lost. The wheel button is a savior for that. So now you know how to move the thing around. Things like walls are invisible from back. If you double click on the wall, there's an option, walls invisible from back. You can turn it off, make them solid. Depends what you want to do. In here, pages we have textured, which is exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing a textured view. Solid, it gets rid of all the textures on the 3D. Hidden shows you without any colors and textures on it, just shows you the cabinetry. And wireframe shows you everything inside the cabinetry. Depends what you want to do. The wireframe is a bit of a mess, but if you're looking for something very specific and how's that going to work, you can actually zoom right in and start seeing all different parts. So there's the base of my range hood part right through there. There's my handles. I can see how this, my shelf is set back. You can see things, but you need to be very specific in what you want to see in here, because otherwise you go, oh, there's lines everywhere. Yes, but you want to see something very specific. You can see how this is assembled. I can see these parts are below the top. The top has a cutout around the pipe chase. So it's very handy to have for very specific reasons. Obviously, you wouldn't send a customer a picture of that because it just looks a bit of a mess, but that looks fine, that looks fine. Depends what you want to do. Now, as you can see here, little things, I've only put the covers down. I haven't put any end panels down. I haven't put an end panel to floor. I haven't extended my bench top to finish. Depends what you want to do. In this example, I haven't done any cutouts for windows. You can do all that in 3D. In the plan view, you can actually go and edit, as we did in video 1. Lesson 1, we showed you how to do a cutout in a wall. It showed you how to change the texture of a wall. You can put multiple walls down. You don't have to do just one wall with all its different sections. You can actually do this, say, wall 1, wall 2, wall 3. You can actually do different walls completely and add different textures to each wall as well. So if you want a feature wall, you can do things like that. You can turn things off in here, lights and shadows, models. It says no models or lights in here. Oh, sorry, handles. There you go. The handles are models. So it turns 3D models off. The rest of these things we'll show you in another video. There's going to be a dedicated video for just this section here, and for these sections. So for now, I just want to show you how to get into 3D. If you want to get back, go to Plan down the bottom. Plan takes you back to your plan view. Again, watch the mouse. Something's about to happen. I'm going to place a cabinet if I'm not careful. So just be aware what your mouse is doing, what your cursor is doing when you come in and out of things as well. Things you can do in here. Just as an example, if I go to a panel, so I've got floor end panel to floor, I'm going to put that down the end there. I'm just going to move that out the way and zoom in. You can see this line here. It's actually dark purple. That's a bench top. And as we saw in 3D, when you went to 3D and the hidden view, it shows you each section of the bench top. Now we can replace the bench tops. We can go into the cabinet, turn the bench top off, and you can see on the end panel there's a little bench top as well. You don't see it when you go to textured view. It's just how they work. So what we see here is here's bench top or countertop on top of that little panel. If we go to the bench top option, on the right hand side, I want to overhang by 20 mil. This seals it. So we need to tick that. If we now go, and you can now see, here we go, that line now goes around the outside, 20 mil past that, go back to 3D, and it's now finished off that end properly. So it makes it easier to, so that's how you finish off, makes it easier to look at. That's how you're going to actually manufacture it. Same as the walls, we can double click on the wall, as it's invisible from back down to bottom, wall is invisible from behind. It's now solid. So it's just a tick box here. You can also change this to a solid color. Okay. So if we now go back to 3D, we've changed the wall color. Other things you can do in cabinets just to make things look. One thing I like to do, here we go, there's an example. Let's put a drawer in here. And let's move that one over. So I can click on the drawer. I can go to Options and Drawers. This is actually a button here. So if I open the drawers, I can literally click on this here and just go open the drawers. And the drawers will open. But what I don't want to do, I don't want all the drawers. I want just the top drawer open. So if I did something like that and I can just have that and open it that much. Okay. So when you go to 3D, it's little things that finish off the drawing nicely. So there you go. I can show the drawer open in there. I can show what type of runner is in there. So opening drawers, you can also open doors. You open a cabinet as well. I can click on this cabinet and open the doors. You can put models inside cabinets. Again, that's going to come in another video. So you can open the doors. The other thing you can do in here is when you're in plan, insert a light. So if I put 3 lights in here, you can change the brightness of the lights as well. If you double click on the light, it'll show you the light and how it's on. It's going to do shadows. It's at 3.6 meters. It's 80% brightness, and it's a color it's going to portray when it actually goes into 3D. So you now see I've got the lights. I've got 3 shadows going through here. There's shadows inside the cabinet. That's the obviously if you have more overhead cabinetry as well, it'll have more shadows to do it properly. I'm just throwing one cabinet in for this example, but that's how you add in lights as well. So you can, and if you go here again, turn your lights off, get rid of your shadows. So that's how you get into 3D. It makes it easy to see what's going on in 3D. From here, a couple of things you can do. You can right click and go split. And where do you want the split to go? So I now have 4 different options here. In here, I can actually go 3D in that one there, and I can go to say elevations in this one here. I can go to list view. You wouldn't normally do 4. If you want to get rid of them, you literally grab that, drag it all the way to the side. Gone. I've now got split screen like that. So you can do things like this. Normally you would actually do more likely like that, and you can have your 3D on this side, and you put this into, if you go to your 3D, you can put that into a, say, hidden or something like that. Makes it easy to see. You can see where my lights are. So that's what that looks like into there. If I did something, and it's all live, if I move this around, you can see it's actually moving on there over there as well. So sometimes, depends what you're looking at, you could have elevations on that screen as well if you want to do something as well. Sorry, plan on that one. Click on that screen, then go to elevations. Again, live again. So you can see I moved it off the wall. So again, off the wall, move it around. Everything's live as you do it. If you don't like it, drag it across, get rid of it. So splitting the screen is quite nice. From here, the other thing I want to show you today is the other libraries. We've got other libraries that come with the program by default. So the libraries are actually the very first option here. So CM Cabinets is a default. That's the one that has all your cabinetry in it. Custom models, you can actually choose. You can download models from other websites and things like that and add them in. So 3D models, there's just a click browse button. Design 2 has a lot of models with it. So this is quite nice. So if we do something like furniture, a chair, So this is what the chair looks like. When I place it on the drawing, it actually shows you the outline of the chair here. When you go to 3D, it'll actually show you what the model looks like. So there's my 3D model of the chair. And again, models will turn the models off. So you want to add any nice features in. That's how you can add them in through here. So the design library, you can add a couch in. There's a corner couch. So it shows you what that actually looks like in here in the plan view as well. It also shows you an elevation. If you put that onto a wall and you get the elevation, it'll show you an elevation of that model as well. So that's design 2. Just finishes the drawing off nicely. Farmers library, if you know farmers, they have a lot of different, well, here we go. Let's show you what they do. Veggie basket, brackets, they do a lot of 3D modeling, these sorts of things, like really ornate parts. Good company in Australia. If you need any of this corbel work or any of these sorts of things, absolutely go speak to farmers. But the full model library is here, so you can choose what these look like. You can change color on them. So that's a good library to use. Parts, instead of pulling out cabinets out of the library like we do in CM cabinets, you can actually pull out parts. So you can actually go to, there's a back, there's a door, there's a drawer. Again, double click on it. So there's the drawers. You can see what they look like. They're just literally the internals of the drawers. How many do you want? What do they look like? You can add them to different things. Robes. Robes is an interesting one. Robes is for people that do robes, closets, whatever you call them. These same cabinets are essentially found in the CM Cabinets library anyway. So you've got the Robe 1 and Robe 2, which is actually called Universal 1 and Universal 2. So these are the universal cabinets. They're also called robes. So people that specifically do closets, you can set up your library in here. Instead of actually trying to use the universal cabinets, you'd use a robes library. It's just a smaller version of the CM Cabinets library dedicated for closets. And the last one is sinks. So there's a full library of sinks. So you can come in here and choose the sinks that you want to use, and it shows you exactly what they look like from the Oliveri range. And there's a few other different ranges you've got in here. So there's a lot of different sinks all set up with the right sizes, dimensions, images. What do they look like? So you want to use any sinks, they're actually quite handy to use. So that's what the sinks library is for. It's just models of sinks. You can then add your accessories to them as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been informative.